God says, be careful. I'm protecting you from a man whose name will shock you. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to tell you is going to make something deep inside your spirit sit up, pay attention, and whisper, this message is for me, and your heart needs this right now more than you realize, so listen to this carefully, because the timing is not an accident, the pull you feel is not random, and the message coming toward you is arriving at the exact moment your intuition has been nudging you, warning you, protecting you, trying to guide you away from someone whose energy was never meant to walk into your future, no matter how convincing the connection once felt. Don't scroll, because this is coming through for you with spiritual weight. You've been wondering why something felt off, even when you couldn't explain it, why their presence made your chest tighten instead of relax, why the universe kept throwing subtle signs in your path, signs like 111 when you thought of them, 222 when you doubted yourself, 444 when you felt drained, 555 when you felt the shift coming. And each of those angel numbers wasn't just a coincidence. They were divine nudges, quiet alarms, gentle warnings that the path you were about to walk with this man would have taken you somewhere your soul wasn't meant to go. Listen to this message is for you. You weren't imagining the tension, the heaviness, the hesitation, because while part of you wanted to believe in his potential, the deeper, wiser part of you, the part that hears God in the stillness, knew there was something hidden behind his charm, something he wasn't telling you, something that would have hurt far more later than the confusion you feel now, and that's why things didn't move forward the way you expected, that's why the timing always felt strange, that's why the connection felt hot and cold, intense then distant, promising then disappointing, because God wasn't letting it settle into your life. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now. You've been protected from someone who would have taken more than they were willing to give, someone whose intentions were not aligned with your spirit, someone who saw your light but didn't plan to honor it, someone who admired your strength but wasn't prepared to match it, someone who felt the depth of your heart but wasn't ready to handle the responsibility of loving a soul like yours, and even though they may have held attraction, interest, or curiosity, their emotional inconsistency would have drained you, confused you, delayed you, and distorted the vision you have for your life. Listen to this because it is divinely guided. You were not blocked, you were protected, and sometimes God will remove someone long before your heart understands why, because he can see conversations you haven't heard, intentions you can't read, and paths that would have led you far from the purpose that's being shaped inside you. Don't scroll. This message is for you. The distance you felt wasn't rejection, it was redirection, divine intervention disguised as unanswered questions, unanswered messages, cold energy, mixed signals, unbalanced effort, because God knew you deserved a love that actually shows up, a love that brings clarity, not confusion, a love that is rooted in truth, not illusion, a love that builds you, not drains you, a love that is aligned with your calling, not a detour from it. Listen to this because your heart needs it. The man you were being protected from carries a level of emotional chaos he has not healed, and if you stayed attached to him, his wounds would have become yours, his insecurities would have affected your confidence, his lack of readiness would have stalled your own progress, and God is not letting that happen, not now, not in this season where you are meant to rise, glow, elevate, and connect with someone whose spirit actually matches yours. Don't scroll, this is for you. What's coming next will make sense of what didn't, because the revelation you've been waiting for is closer than you think, and the name that will shock you? It's not meant to scare you, it's meant to show you just how closely God has been watching over your heart, how intentionally He has been guiding your steps, how deeply He cares about your emotional safety, because you were not meant to settle, you were not meant to shrink, You were not meant to pour into someone who only gave in pieces. Listen to this: a soulmate connection, a real one, a destined one, a spiritually aligned one, cannot enter your life while counterfeit energy takes up space, and that is why the separation happened. That is why you felt uneasy. That is why you felt drained after talking to him. That is why your spirit didn't settle, because your soul knew, and God confirmed, that this man was not the one who could walk with you into the chapter you're stepping into now. Don't scroll. This message is for you, and your heart needs this. The man who is meant for you, the one aligned with you, the one designed to love you the way you've always deserved to be loved, cannot enter while a distraction sits at your door, and so God is clearing your path, removing what was never stable, revealing what was never pure, exposing what was never honest, and preparing you for something, and someone, far better. Listen to this final truth. God is not letting you fall for someone who cannot catch you, and this message is reaching you now because you are stepping into a season of clarity, protection, and revelation, a season where every mask will fall, every false connection will fade, and every true connection will rise. Don't scroll, because this was meant for you. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to reveal is going to make something inside you tighten, lift, and finally understand why the last few weeks, or even months, have felt so strange, so heavy, so spiritually loud, and your heart needs this right now, because this message is for you in a way that goes beyond coincidence, beyond timing, beyond anything you could logically explain. Listen to this carefully, because the protection God placed over you didn't just shield you from emotional pain, it shielded you from a spiritual trap you didn't even see forming, a connection that looked harmless on the outside but carried an energy that would have drained your purpose, dimmed your intuition, and interfered with the person God is shaping you to become. And the reason this message is reaching you now is because the veil is lifting, the truth is surfacing, and the unseen battle around your heart is coming to light. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this. The man God pulled you away from has been wrestling with shadows he refuses to confront, wounds he refuses to heal, patterns he refuses to break, and if you had stayed connected to him, those shadows would have wrapped around your spirit in ways you wouldn't have realized until you were already emotionally entangled, spiritually exhausted, and questioning your worth over someone who couldn't even face himself. Listen to this. He carries a charm that feels familiar, a pull that feels magnetic, a softness that appears when he wants something, but behind that charm is inconsistency, behind that pull is confusion, behind that softness is a lack of true intention. He was drawn to your light not because he was ready to honor it, but because he craved the warmth of something he wasn't prepared to sustain. Don't scroll, because this message is for you. God didn't let this situation work out because this man's presence in your life would have become a distraction disguised as desire, a setback disguised as chemistry, a delay disguised as potential, and while your heart may have wanted to see the good in him, God saw the truth behind him. God saw the late-night conversations he wasn't having with you, the emotional instability he wasn't addressing, the connections he wasn't being honest about, the spiritual weight he wasn't willing to lift, and the path he was taking that didn't align with yours, and instead of letting you walk blindly into heartbreak, God intervened. Listen to this, because your heart needs confirmation. The confusion you felt, the mixed signals, the moments where his energy shifted for no reason, the sudden silence, the emotional distance, the way your intuition tightened around his name, none of that was your imagination. That was God whispering, "Pay attention." That was your spirit saying, "Something isn't right." That was divine protection disguised as disappointment. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. You were never meant to chase, never meant to prove, never meant to convince someone to choose you. God has already chosen someone for you whose spirit aligns with yours, someone emotionally ready, someone spiritually open, someone whose intentions match their words, someone whose consistency doesn't fluctuate with convenience, someone who doesn't run when they feel connection but leans in with clarity and courage. This man you were being protected from is not a bad person. He is simply unprepared, unhealed, and unresolved, and God will not allow unresolved energy to attach itself to your purpose. Listen closely, you've been seeing angel numbers for a reason. 111 when you started questioning everything. 222 when you wondered whether walking away was the right choice. 444 when you cried without knowing why. 555 when the shift began and you felt something spiritually breaking open. 717 when you sensed new alignment forming in the distance. These numbers were messages, warnings, confirmations, spiritual signals that God was guiding you into a safer, higher, more aligned season. Don't scroll, because this is important. The man God is protecting you from is beginning to feel the separation now. He can sense the distance. He can feel the spiritual barrier around you. He can feel that your energy is no longer accessible to him. He may not say it out loud, he may not reach out, he may not show it publicly, but privately he feels the shift in his chest. He feels the loss of your presence. He feels the absence of your emotional warmth. He feels the difference between your genuine care and the temporary attention he gets from others. But listen to this regret, this pull, this sudden awareness he's experiencing is not a sign for you to return, it is a sign for him to grow. God is using your absence to awaken him, not to reconnect him to you. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. The reason you've been feeling lighter, more at peace, more intuitive, more connected to your own spirit lately is because his energy is no longer interfering with your frequency. You've stepped back into alignment with God's voice. Your clarity is returning. Your power is returning. Your emotional balance is returning. And now that God has cleared this distraction from your path, the next part of your journey, the aligned love, the destined soulmate, the emotionally available partner, is getting ready to reveal itself. Listen to this final truth: God never removes something without replacing it with better. God never blocks a path unless a greater one is opening. God never allows your heart to break unless he intends to heal it with something stronger, deeper, and more spiritually aligned. You are not losing anything, you are being positioned. You are not being rejected, you are being redirected. You are not being punished, you are being protected. Don't scroll, because this message was meant for you exactly in this moment, exactly in this season, exactly when your spirit is ready to hear it. Something better is coming, and God needed the wrong one out of the way so the right one could finally find you. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to say is going to hit you so deeply, so accurately, that you might feel your chest tighten or your eyes sting for a moment, and that's because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, so listen closely. You have no idea how much spiritual activity has been happening around your life lately, how many things God has been blocking, rerouting, exposing, and reshaping, not to punish you but to protect you, especially from a man whose presence would have entangled your emotions in ways that would have drained your confidence, delayed your purpose, and dimmed the glow you've worked so hard to restore. And the reason this message is coming now is because you've entered a season of clarity, a season of unveiling, a season where God is removing every mask, every illusion, every false connection that once had access to your heart. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. The man God pulled you away from wasn't just unprepared. His energy was tied to patterns that would have wounded you deeper than you realize, patterns he refuses to change, patterns that come from old trauma, old habits, old insecurities that he continues to hide beneath charm or confidence or temporary affection. But God saw what you couldn't. He saw the late-night conversations that would have left you questioning your worth. He saw the emotional inconsistency that would have made you doubt your intuition. He saw the moments he would have hurt you, and then blamed your reaction instead of owning his behavior. And God said, "Not my child, not this time." Listen to this, because it's divinely timed. Your soul has been shifting lately, hasn't it? You've been feeling more intuitive, more sensitive to energy, more aware of who belongs near you and who doesn't, and that's because God is heightening your discernment, lifting your spiritual frequency, showing you the truth behind vibes you used to ignore. And this is why certain people have suddenly fallen away, why certain conversations feel different, why certain interactions feel heavier or emptier than they used to. Your spirit is finally catching what your heart used to overlook. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. The man you were being protected from has been feeling your absence in ways he can't explain, not because he was ready to love you properly, but because losing your energy exposed how much he depended on you emotionally even while giving you so little in return. He misses the validation, the softness, the presence, the certainty you brought, but he was never prepared to reciprocate it, and God refused to let you become someone's emotional bandage while your own needs were being ignored. Listen to this. Sometimes God will let a connection spark just enough for you to learn the lesson but not long enough for you to suffer the damage, and that's what happened here. You felt a pull, a curiosity, a potential, but every time you tried to lean in, something felt blocked, delayed, interrupted, and that wasn't rejection, that wasn't timing issues, that wasn't you being paranoid, that was divine protection in motion. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth. You are being positioned for alignment, not attachment, and part of that alignment includes removing anyone who cannot meet you emotionally, spiritually, or energetically, because the love God has for you, the real soulmate connection, requires space, and it cannot enter your life while counterfeits are still standing at the door. And here's the part that will resonate the deepest. The man you were drawn to saw something in you that scared him, something too real, too pure, too honest, too spiritually triggering, because your presence illuminated the very parts of himself he's been hiding from, and instead of growing, instead of rising to meet you, he pulled away, shut down, hid behind distance or excuses, not realizing that this was the moment God stepped in and said, "I will not let their heart be mishandled." Listen to this, this message is for you. You've been seeing signs everywhere, and it's not your imagination. 111 when you started questioning the connection, 222 when you wrestled with whether to trust your intuition, 444 when God was guiding you to release what wasn't for you, 555 when the spiritual shift began, and now 717 or 1010 as confirmation that a new, aligned, destined chapter is forming, and these signs aren't random, they're divine breadcrumbs leading you away from danger and toward destiny. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. The man God is preparing for you, the real one, the aligned one, the healed one, is someone whose energy will not confuse you, someone who won't pull away when things get real, someone who will match your effort, your depth, your heart, someone who will speak with clarity instead of mixed signals, someone who will pursue with intention instead of hesitation, someone whose presence brings peace, not anxiety. And the reason God had to remove the wrong one is because His promise cannot sit beside someone else's confusion. Listen to this final truth. The protection you didn't understand was actually preparation, and the separation you felt was actually elevation, and the release you resisted was actually God making room for something far greater than anything you lost. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you are stepping into a season where God will reveal why He blocked what you once wanted and bless you with what you truly deserve. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to reveal is going to land so precisely in the center of your spirit that you might feel your breath catch for a moment, and that's because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, so listen closely. The emotional storm you've been feeling lately, the heaviness, the sudden waves of intuition, the strange urge to withdraw from certain people, the need to protect your peace without even knowing why, is not random, it's not mood swings, it's not overthinking. It's spiritual preparation, because God is getting ready to reveal something that will shift your entire understanding of who belongs in your life and who never deserved access to your heart in the first place. And the reason this message is coming through in this exact moment is because the veil is thinning, the truth is rising, and the person whose name God warned you about is already feeling the pressure of losing the control they once had over your emotions, your attention, or your energy. Listen to this, because this message is for you, this man, the one God had to protect you from, has been wrestling with himself, wrestling with guilt, wrestling with the consequences of his actions, not because he's suddenly awakened or healed, but because he realizes his ability to manipulate your emotions, intentionally or unintentionally, is slipping through his fingers. And what's haunting him now is the fact that your spirit feels different, stronger, more aligned, harder to influence, and more connected to God's voice than ever before. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. You've been sensing that someone has been thinking about you intensely, feeling overwhelmed whenever their name crosses your mind, feeling drained after interacting with them or even remembering them. And this is because their energy has been tugging at yours, trying to pull you back into an emotional space God has already delivered you from. They feel your detachment, they feel your growth, they feel your rising frequency, and it terrifies them, because deep down they never expected you to outgrow the version of you they could control, charm, confuse, or distract. Listen to this. Their regret isn't the regret of someone who truly understands love. It's the regret of someone who lost access to a powerful, intuitive, spiritually gifted soul who once saw them with compassion they didn't earn, and now that compassion has been redirected back into your own healing, your own boundaries, your own elevation. They are panicking in silence, trying to convince themselves they still have time to pull you back emotionally, even though God has already closed that door. Don't scroll, this message is for you. This is why you've been seeing angel numbers everywhere, 111 as your confirmation that new beginnings are forming, 222 appearing during moments you feel conflicted, reminding you that balance is coming, 333 showing up whenever you consider letting someone from your past back in, warning you that your spiritual team is guiding you away from old cycles, and 444 surrounding you during moments of doubt to reassure you that divine protection is the reason certain connections didn't work out. These numbers aren't coincidences, they are signals, spiritual alerts, reminders that God is actively orchestrating your path, removing what was built on illusion and shaping what will be built on truth. Listen closely, your heart needs this. the man God warned you about is still watching you, still checking if the door is open, still paying attention to your energy, even if he's silent, even if he's distant, even if he pretends not to care. His ego is wrestling with the reality that you are slipping out of his energetic grip, that you are stepping into a version of yourself that refuses to shrink for anyone else's comfort, that refuses to tolerate inconsistency, disrespect, or emotional confusion, and that growth is forcing him to confront his own unhealed wounds, wounds he is not yet ready to face. Don't scroll, this is for you. He never expected you to wake up spiritually, never expected you to start listening to your intuition, never expected you to grow past the emotional traps he placed, intentionally or not, but your awakening has shifted everything. Your silence, your peace, your boundaries, they have become the very things that convict him, exposing the cracks in his character, the illusions he hid behind, the intentions that weren't aligned with your purpose. And here's the truth God needs you to hear. He was not sent to be your partner, he was sent to be a lesson, one that teaches you what love is not, what connection should not feel like, what your spirit should never have to tolerate in order to feel wanted, and because you finally learned the lesson, God is releasing you into alignment with someone whose energy will match yours. Don't scroll, your heart needs this, someone new, someone aligned, someone intentional, someone spiritually awake. Has already begun sensing your energy, even from a distance, and the more you release what wasn't meant for you, the closer this soulmate connection comes, the clearer the signs will be, the softer your spirit will feel as you prepare for real love. Listen to this message is for you. The reason God allowed your heart to break, the reason He allowed confusion to surface, the reason He allowed you to see the truth is because your spirit was being upgraded, your intuition was being sharpened, and your standards were being elevated so that no counterfeit connection could ever trick you again. Don't scroll, because you are standing on the edge of a divine shift, one that will reveal who truly loves you, who was pretending, and who was never meant to hold your heart. And this revelation is coming sooner than you think. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to say will hit you so deeply, so accurately, so spiritually on time that your breath may slow down for a moment, and that's because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, so listen closely. The emotional tension you've been waking up with, the heaviness that sits in your chest at random moments, the strange calm that follows waves of anxiety, the sudden clarity that appears right after confusion. None of it is random, because you are in the middle of a divine unraveling, a spiritual exposure, a moment where God is revealing the truth behind people you once trusted, people you once loved, people you once prayed for, and especially the man whose presence felt magnetic but whose intentions were wrapped in shadows you didn't see at first, not because you were naive but because you were loving, genuine, and spiritually open in a way he wasn't ready for. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now, this man, the one God has been protecting you from, has been feeling the spiritual consequences of the way he handled your heart, and while he may not admit it out loud, his spirit knows he crossed emotional lines he had no right to cross, whether he misled you, breadcrumbed you, confused you, or made you feel like you had to earn his affection when you were already giving him more loyalty, more energy, more purity than he ever deserved, and now karma is circling him slowly, not to punish him, but to teach him the lesson he refused to learn when he had your light right in front of him. Listen to this, because this message is for you. He underestimated your intuition, your strength, your connection to God, your spiritual protection. He thought you were someone he could come back to any time, someone who would wait forever, someone whose love he could take in pieces and return in crumbs, but what he didn't know is that God was watching everything, and God was preparing the moment you would wake up, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, and pull your power back in a way that would shift the entire dynamic between you. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. The distance between you isn't accidental, the silence isn't punishment, the separation isn't rejection. It is divine intervention, because God could not reveal the person who truly loves you, the soulmate who is aligned for you, the partner who will cherish you, while your spirit was still entangled with someone whose energy was inconsistent, unstable, or emotionally unavailable. Listen closely, you've been feeling someone tugging on your energy lately, haven't you? That sudden urge to think about him out of nowhere, that sensation of being mentally pulled backward, that emotional ache that doesn't feel like yours, that's him, sensing that your spirit is slipping away, that you are healing in ways he never expected, that you are becoming unreachable to the version of him that refused to grow, refused to choose you, refused to show up when it mattered. Don't scroll, this is for you. He's been asking about you indirectly, watching you quietly, checking to see if you've moved on, trying to read your energy through silence, because your silence has become the one thing he can't interpret, the one thing he can't manipulate, the one thing he can't control, and it's driving him into a level of self-reflection he avoided for years. Listen to this, your heart needs it, he's not just missing you. He's confronted by the truth that he never matched you emotionally, spiritually, or energetically, and the truth that he may have lost someone divinely placed in his path. But here is the part God needs you to understand. Regret is not repentance, longing is not transformation, emotions are not accountability, and God is not sending him back to you unless he becomes the man he was meant to be, not the man he has been. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. You are entering a season where God is correcting your vision, clearing your energy, sharpening your intuition, and preparing your heart for the person who will not fear your depth, your intention, your love, your calling. This next chapter of your life requires people who speak with clarity, not confusion, who pursue with intention, not hesitation, who love with consistency, not emotional games. Listen to this, the reason God pulled you away from him is because your soulmate, the real one, is coming, and unlike the man God blocked, this person will not fumble your heart, they will not take your love casually, they will not disappear when things get real. This soulmate will see you the way God sees you, as chosen, as deserving, as a divine partner, not a temporary distraction. Don't scroll, this message is for you. The emotional shifts you feel are signs of alignment. 111 When you think about walking away for good, 222 When your spirit begins to restore balance, 333 When God is reminding you to trust your path, 555 When major change is approaching, and 777 When blessings are aligning in the unseen. Every sign is confirmation that God is preparing your life for something better than what you settled for, something deeper than what you tasted, something more stable than what you hoped that man could offer. Listen to this final truth. The man who mishandled your heart will feel the consequences of that loss, but you, chosen, protected, divinely guided, are stepping into a season where the love you give will finally be matched, mirrored, and honored. Don't scroll, because the breakthrough you've been praying for is closer than you think. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to reveal is going to reach straight into the part of your spirit that's been exhausted, confused, hopeful, wounded, and quietly waiting for answers, and that's exactly why this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, so take a breath and listen closely. You've been walking through a season where emotional clarity feels both distant and strangely close, where some days you feel stronger than ever and other days you feel like you're one memory away from collapsing, and this isn't because you're unstable or overwhelmed. It's because God is detoxing your spirit from connections that were never meant to stay, especially the one tied to the man whose energy still lingers around you even though the relationship, situationship, or connection has faded, cracked, or completely collapsed, and the reason you're feeling so much intensity lately is because a spiritual tug-of-war is happening around you, a battle between what God is removing and what your heart still remembers. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. He has been thinking about you non-stop, not because he suddenly became the partner you deserved, but because your absence has forced him to confront the truth he avoided for far too long, the truth that he misused your affection, took your emotional generosity for granted, underestimated your intuition, and believed you would always be available even when he wasn't showing up for you. And now, in the silence, in the separation, in the late-night moments he can't distract himself from, he feels the consequences of his patterns in a way he wasn't expecting, and the guilt is beginning to settle in places he can't hide from. Listen to this, because this message is for you. He didn't expect your growth. He didn't expect you to detach, to rise, to spiritually glow up in a way that made you unavailable to his old version of love, and what's happening right now is that he's realizing just how protected you are, how divinely watched over you've always been, how God stepped in when your heart didn't have enough strength to walk away on its own. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. There is a reason you've been seeing signs everywhere. 111 When a new beginning is forming inside you, 222 When your spirit is pulled into balance, 444 When God is whispering that you're being shielded, 555 When major change is coming, and 1010 When your soul is preparing for a chapter that requires a clearer heart, a stronger mind, and a healed version of you. These angel numbers are not random. They're spiritual confirmation that the separation was divinely orchestrated, that the heartbreak was redirected protection, that the confusion you went through was preparation for the clarity you're about to receive. Listen closely, he has been emotionally unraveling. Not in dramatic public ways, but in the quiet moments he doesn't tell anyone about, the moments when he scrolls through your pictures, drafts messages he never sends, tries to numb the longing with distractions, and realizes nothing fills the void you left because what he lost was not just a person, it was peace, softness, emotional safety, spiritual grounding, something he didn't value fully until it was gone. Don't scroll, this message is for you. You are not meant to carry his guilt, his regret, or his consequences. God is handling that, not to punish him, but to grow him in the areas he refused to mature while he had access to you. And here's the part that hits the deepest, you've been feeling his energy, haven't you? The random waves of sadness, the sudden heaviness in your chest, the unexplainable urge to think about him, the dreams where he appears out of nowhere, that's not obsession or weakness, that's spiritual overflow. You're picking up on his unresolved emotions because your soul was connected to his more deeply than you realized, but God is cutting that cord strand by strand so you can rise into the version of yourself aligned with your destiny, not your history. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. He is struggling because he can finally feel what you felt, the longing, the uncertainty, the emotional instability, the fear of losing someone without knowing how to get them back, and while that may sound like karmic justice, it's actually spiritual rebalancing. God is showing him the emotional weight he put on you so he can learn how to love differently. Whether that's for someone else or for a future version of himself that may or may not cross your path again. Listen to this, because this message is for you. You are stepping into a season where God is elevating your standards, sharpening your intuition, and preparing your heart for the soulmate who truly matches your spirit, someone who won't ghost you, confuse you, breadcrumb you, or make you feel like love is something you have to earn, someone who comes with clarity, commitment, consistency, and emotional depth. But in order for God to bring this person into your life, He first has to cleanse the residue of the man who mishandled you, not because you still want him, but because the emotional imprint is still healing. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. The exhaustion you feel is not a setback, it's a sign. Your soul is tired of carrying what no longer belongs to you, and God is whispering, "Let me take it from here." This next season of your life is going to reveal why the heartbreak had to happen, why the silence was necessary, why the separation was sacred, and why God protected you from someone you thought you needed. Listen to this final truth. You are not moving backward, you are not stuck, you are not forgotten. You are being aligned, elevated, refined, and prepared, and the breakthrough that's coming is going to make you grateful for everything God removed, everything He exposed, and everything He's about to restore. Don't scroll, because the shift you've been waiting for is already on its way. Don't scroll, because what I'm about to say is going to hit your spirit so accurately, so deeply, that you may feel goosebumps rise on your skin or a sudden pressure build in your chest, and that's because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now, so listen closely. You are entering a season where the truth about people, their intentions, their feelings, their hidden thoughts, will start unfolding right in front of your eyes, not because God wants to overwhelm you, but because He is preparing you for a level of elevation that requires spiritual accuracy, emotional wisdom, and the ability to recognize who deserves access to you and who doesn't, especially regarding the man who has been silently wrestling with the consequences of how he treated you, the man God has been pulling you away from, the man whose energy you still feel tugging at your spirit in moments you don't expect. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. You've been sensing something big approaching, haven't you? That subtle shift in the atmosphere, that strange feeling in your chest, that unexplainable intuition telling you something is changing behind the scenes. And you're right, because God has been rearranging the spiritual landscape around your life, closing doors you kept trying to open, blocking connections you thought were meant to grow, removing emotional attachments that were draining you quietly, and exposing the hidden patterns of someone who claimed to care but couldn't love you in the way your soul deserved. And now, the truth is rising in a way even you can't ignore anymore. Listen to this. This message is for you. The man God warned you about is being spiritually confronted right now, confronted with the weight of his choices, confronted with the reality that he mishandled someone who was sent into his life as a blessing, not a burden, confronted with the sinking feeling that he may have permanently lost someone who cared for him more deeply than he ever admitted, even to himself. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. He has been experiencing a spiritual unraveling. Not the dramatic kind you see in movies, but the quiet internal collapse that happens when God gently removes the illusions people hide behind, when He forces them to see themselves clearly for the first time, when He lifts the veil and makes them face the truth they spent years avoiding. And what He sees now is you. The way you loved Him. The way you showed up. The way you stayed soft even when He was inconsistent. The way your heart held space for Him even when He didn't know how to hold space for Himself. He sees it all now, and that's why he has been restless, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Listen to this, because it's important. He has been haunted by memories of you, replaying conversations, rereading old messages, imagining the moments he should have acted differently, should have spoken more honestly, should have shown up with intention instead of hesitation. And yet God is not allowing him to reach you right now, not because God is cruel, but because you are being protected from receiving someone who still isn't ready to love you the way your spirit requires. Don't scroll, your heart needs this. This man is not your enemy, but he is not your destiny, not in his current form. God is not punishing him, he is growing him. But you? You are moving into a season where your heart can no longer wait for the potential of someone else's healing. You are being called into alignment with someone who will meet you where you are, not pull you backward into emotional confusion. And here's the part that will make your spirit sit up. While he has been grieving the version of you he lost, God has been preparing the version of you that your soulmate, your real soulmate, has been praying for. Listen, this message is for you. Someone aligned with your future, not your past, has begun sensing your energy. Someone emotionally available. Someone spiritually awakened. Someone sent, not stumbled upon. And the more you release the emotional residue of the man who hurt you, the closer this new connection gets, like two frequencies slowly tuning into each other across distance. Don't scroll, because your heart needs this truth. You are no longer in the season of chasing clarity, you are entering the season of receiving it. The confusion is lifting. The emotional fog is clearing. The tug-of-war between your heart and your spirit is ending. You are stepping into a timeline where every hidden intention will be exposed, every false connection will fall away, every counterfeit attachment will break, and the person God truly has for you will begin to emerge. Listen to this. The reason you felt so tired, so emotionally drained, so spiritually stretched, is because you've been carrying weight that wasn't yours, energy that wasn't yours, emotions that weren't yours. God is removing all of it, even the parts your heart thought it wanted. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now. The man who hurt you will continue feeling the consequences of losing you, not because God is petty, but because God is just, and when someone mishandles a heart as rare as yours, the universe will always echo the loss back to them. But you? You are rising. Healing. Rebuilding. Becoming. And soon, sooner than you think. God will place in your life the one who will look at you and recognize you instantly, not as a lesson, not as a convenience, but as a blessing. Don't scroll, because everything is about to change, and this time, the change is working in your favor.